We are live. Hey, everybody. I am Kari the Mortician. Thank you for joining us. We are joined by Joe Horner from Forget Me Not Arrangements today. So, this is a very specific live video that we're doing to learn more about this company. As you're all popping in and starting to get on the live, we're going to just dive in and kind of start chatting. Last week we did have this scheduled. I know there was several people that were in the chat waiting, like, is this ever starting? But a storm rolled through my area and just wiped everything out. So we had no power, no internet. So thankfully we were able to reschedule this for tonight to tell you guys about this company. So welcome. Thanks for joining me, Joe.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. Now, what part of the country are you in?
Yeah, I am in northern Utah, just a few minutes from the Idaho border.
Which my geography is terrible. I guess I never realized that Idaho and Utah touch. To me, like in my mind, Utah's far south and
Uh-huh.
Idaho's way north. So that's just my
No, you're
my
good. It's not a well-traveled part of the country, I'm sure, for
Do you go
most
to
people. So,
Iowa? Do you go to Iowa for anything usually?
oh, I'm sorry, Idaho
Or not
is
Iowa,
yeah.
Idaho. Yeah, do you go up to Idaho often or?
Yeah, my in-laws actually live just over the border in Idaho, so we're there on a weekly basis to spend time with them, and then my parents also live up in Idaho as well, a little further north. So, yeah, we're there
Nice.
occasionally just to visit family usually.
Nice.
So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Well, if you're just joining us, guys, welcome. I'm Karen the Mortician, and today we're talking to Joe Horner from Forget Me Not Arrangements, a new company. Want you guys to know about it. You're always asking me, hey, Carrie, what about this? What about this company? Maybe this should exist. Well, this is one you're going to want to know about. And you know what's funny, Joe, is I just saw a post on like daily happy moments or something on Instagram, and it was
Mhm.
about what I almost sent it to you because it was about somebody doing what it is your company is gonna take on
Oh, interesting.
doing. So it's gonna make it super easy for people. So as a brief explanation of what Forget Me Not Arrangements is, it's a delivery of letters and gifts to your loved ones, even after they're gone. More than just a delivery service, we want to be a meaningful option for people who want to leave more than an inheritance. So let's explain what that is. So tell us about Forget Me Not Arrangements in a nutshell.
Yeah, I don't know that I can phrase it any better than you put it there, Carrie. It's yeah, essentially a platform that enables individuals to prepare letters and gifts to be delivered to their loved ones after they pass away. So, uh, interested people in this service, they would create an account with us, enter in all the information, purchase a package through us, and then on our end, we fulfill those orders after the individual passes.
Now, are they paying up front because a credit card's not gonna work work later, so they pay up front for this service as it gets carried out down the road?
Yeah, yep, that's correct. So we'll have different options uh, for them to pay upfront for service starting, we have different prices starting next week when we launch on Kickstarter, as low as $39. And then they ramp up from there depending on if you want to, like a one-time event to send something out to a loved one or something that recurs annually for 5 or more years. Uh, Lots of flexibility there.
So this is a company, you're not launched exactly yet. You're building towards a launch of being fully functional. How long are you hoping until that you are ready to go, off and running?
Yeah, it's a great question. We came together as a founding team last summer and have been working since then to get this ready to launch. And we elected to use Kickstarter. I don't know how many of your viewers are familiar with that platform, but essentially a platform for new businesses to be able to launch and for people to pre-order products and services from new businesses. So it helps these new businesses get funded and then be able to um, you know send the products out little bit later to the individuals that support them early on. And so we are ready to launch on Kickstarter next Tuesday is
That's
when that will
exciting.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very excited. We can't wait. And then as far as the fulfillment goes, so the Kickstarter campaign will run for a month. So through May, that through yeah, essentially through May, and then after that, we'll look to start fulfilling, getting things in order to for all of those that support us on Kickstarter. We'll um, start processing those orders, getting them ready. A fully functional platform on our end is expected to be ready in the fall of this year. So we're targeting October for that release.
Now, when you say gifts and letters, can you talk about what kind of gifts you're envisioning? Or, like, if they're doing letters, do you send them a kit so that they're kind of like labeled and sealed and everything? Or are they just putting them together themselves, sending it to you? Kind of talk us through what that looks like.
Yeah. Uh, so it depends on the package that each person buys. There are options for people to buy. On the lowest end of the options is a typed letter that they would just type into our system, and we will print that out on quality parchment paper and mail it, to the individuals they choose. Uh, so that's at one end. On the other end of the spectrum, we have handwritten letters. And so in those
Mm,
situations, we would do like you'd say, we would send this kit of high quality parchment out to the individual who's writing the letters, and they'll write the letters. They'll send them back to us. We'll store them in a fire and waterproof safe. We'll also scan them so in case something happened, with the post office or whatever, we'll have backups of those handwritten letters and can still distribute those out to the people. So um, we envision a lot of the letters. We know that there's a certain group of our supporters that are really excited about the handwritten option for obvious reasons, and I totally feel that way about seeing handwriting from my loved ones. And so there will be some of that. But we envision that a lot of people will, be using the platform to enter in their letters. And you asked about gifts. The gifts that we're offering out of the gate include tailored gift boxes. So
mm,
boxes that are uh, customized for the age and the gender of the recipient, as well as flower arrangements. We'll have stuffed animals and also monetary gifts to do
mm,
things like, if you say, for example, if you have a dear friend or maybe a child or a grandchild that you had a tradition of going to lunch with them on their birthday, we envision you being able to use our service to make that uh, continue to happen even after you're gone. So you send them a letter letting them know, how much you love them and how grateful you were for the time that you had together, and that you wanted them to, keep going to that restaurant or wherever you went, and to use that money to dine out on you essentially for their birthday. So there will be lots of flexible monetary options that way.
so who do you see using this the most? If you're, who is your target kind of people?
Yeah, it's been interesting. So as we started advertising this earlier this year in January, we initially thought that most people, the most frequent users of the service would be for someone to purchase a gift and a letter package for their spouse. We didn't really know, what age. I think we were kind of thinking more retirement age,
Okay.
an older demographic, and as we um, advertised and people responded, we've had thousands of people engage with our content and give us feedback on the idea. And as we did all that, we've come to find that the the people that our supporters are most excited to do this for are their kids and grandkids.
Hmm.
And so it still kind of fits that older demographic that we were initially thinking would be more likely to buy something like this. We've also seen a lot of interest from individuals who have a terminal diagnosis of some kind. they've been very engaged and interested in wanting to do this for their loved ones that they unfortunately know that their time may be short with them. So, I,
Well, and I know you have Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and a lot of the comments that people are commenting are people who are terminal who say, "This is a great idea. Thank you for having this platform available because it's something they would like to use as they're, planning for the future." We don't all know when our time is going to be, but
yeah,
when you are terminal, you do I think a lot broader about things that maybe you want to do down the road where if you're our age and you're kind of plugging along and seemingly healthy, you don't maybe anticipate wanting to do this for somebody because you don't anticipate your death coming
yeah.
soon. So it is a very different vantage point when you are terminal and have an illness to have that forethought for planning.
Yeah, yeah, we've definitely it's been interesting to interact with individuals that kind of fit that profile, and I think me and the three other founders, as we've talked about it, I don't know that there's a group. We're excited to offer this for everybody, but I don't know that there's a group that maybe pulls at the heartstrings as much as that group that, as you said, at the forefront of their mind is the reality that death could could be coming very quickly, and they do have a sense of urgency about um, maximizing what time they have left, and also trying to do things for their if they have young kids, especially, want to find a way
Hmm.
to be present, um, and help their kids know of their love and concern for them and their desire for them to be successful, even after they're gone. And we hope that this can be something that can help them do that. And yeah, very excited to do that for those that fit in that category.
Well, if you guys are just joining us, I'm Kari the Mortician. We're here with Joe from Forget Me Not Arrangements, a new company getting ready to get up and started, who will bring, you can pre order letters, you can write letters, you can pre order gifts and things that they will then deliver to your loved ones after your death on specific dates, on specific milestones. And so we're talking more about that company, how it works, kind of what would you guys like to see from a company like that? Post your comments, post them in the chat right now, and we can ask Joe while we're here live with him. Now, when you and I first talked and I kind of got to know what the company was, you told a story about your mom. Can you tell that story to us to kind of share how that connects to this business?
Yeah, yeah, happy to. So this is probably the main reason why I'm interested in this space and have such a connection to um, services that enable families to uh, utilize their memories and to strengthen their relationships with one another. When I was 13, my mother passed away, as Carrie alluded to. This was an unexpected event. So it came on very suddenly, and as a result of that, if anyone's seen the some of the intro videos we've done for Forget Me Not, I um, talk about how through those initial years and trying to navigate that grieving journey, I distanced myself from memories of my mom, just to try to survive, I guess. And I felt guilty about that, but the just couldn't handle the pain and didn't know how to process things and work through that. But as I grew older, especially after I was married and started having my own kids, the desire to reconnect with her and to get to know her as an adult, uh, that that grew with me, and it came to the point where I my mom, she wasn't an avid journal writer, but she did some journaling throughout her life. And back during COVID, I digitized those journals in an effort to get to know her better. And then for the next year, I would send out those, kind of like a Facebook memory, that pops up for you
Mm,
on this day 5 years ago. This is what mom wrote, and sent those out to my siblings, and it became a profoundly meaningful experience for me, enabling me to uh, just relate to my mom and feel her love and what was most important to her, which really was her family and God and her belief in Jesus Christ, and so it was a very inspirational thing for me. And so even though my mom didn't write, I didn't have any personal letters from her, but the experiences that I had at that time have led me to believe that the Forget Me Not service could provide families with similar types of inspirational, maybe even life-changing experiences. For
yeah.
me, it was, and it led to I started a digitization company, um, to help families do that year, and which continues to run, and so it led to some significant life changes for me, and wanting to create those types of moments for families.
And I'm gonna segue, so, like, I wrote my grandma when she was living, I sent her a piece of, like, paper with a question that had, like, a theme on it, and she would write me a letter back answering that question. I have a whole
Mm.
book of that. So, is that what your
That's
company, this
awesome.
other company, we're going sideways just for a second. Is that what that company does? Would be, like, putting those into a digital somehow form?
Yeah, yeah, the other company, it's a great question, and I, for a while, didn't really know what direction to take it. Where it's landed, where I found the most need and easiness to connect with people on what they could use was uh, digitizing like old family videos, for example, those that are still on
Oh, gotcha.
camcorders,
Okay.
as well as pictures and slides, and then yeah, centralizing them in a way that they can be utilized for, make it easier to access and use and review those. So
That's very cool. Well, back to our point, what we're talking about. So we're talking about forget me not arrangements today, guys. So you can send things to your loved ones after your death. You pre-order, pre-line them up, write them letters, write them notes, handwritten, type them, and then forget me not arrangements. The company will deliver them. So is this, you can do it anywhere in the U.S.?
yeah, in the US, we've also been advertising in the UK, Australia, and Canada.
Oh
The
wow.
goal is
Okay.
to be worldwide eventually. There's obviously logistics with that, so we've started with just kind of those three companies outside or countries outside the US for now.
And I just went blank on exactly what I was gonna ask you. What the heck? I kn that it was such a great question. Oh, I was gonna go to some of the questions people are posting. So, and I kinda had this question as well. What if someone wants to leave a kinda F you, middle finger, as people are saying, like, a negative that they wanna send somebody a letter after? Are you reading these at all? Are you kind of
Mm.
vetting them in case someone is sending from the grave a negative thing to somebody at all, or
Uh, that's a great question, and we've had some discussions as a team on that front. I don't know that we have a great answer for it yet because you hit on part of the user privacy thing. We want that to be
yeah,
important, and so that my initial thought is, we want to respect the privacy and kind of keep those the content of letters private. In some situations, we will be scanning those letters, and so we may come across content, but I don't know that we're planning to vet those individually, and so I guess that is something people could probably use this to do, unfortunately.
I mean, I honestly, there's so many scenarios that I keep thinking as I've been thinking about this today leading up to the video. Someone who is planning to take their own life and
Mm,
does us ahead and lines up all these letters that get delivered after. to family members and things, to maybe answer some of their questions as why, or, it's just these kind of not mainstream, but these little things that maybe people could, which I know is not the intent of it, but I can see some of
Mhm.
these other little things happening as well. Now, I know you talked about, well, you didn't talk about, big life events like weddings, graduation. I mean, obviously, someone who is dying doesn't know when these dates are if they have like a 15-year-old daughter, and they're not going to know when that daughter is going to get married. So,
Yeah.
how do you set it up that that is going to come to fruition when that time actually happens to know when that's going to happen?
Yeah, yeah, that's been a very common question, and it's a great one. It's certainly the business fulfilling, our responsibilities kind of hinges on that. And what we've where we are currently, and we'll continue to iterate and try to find better ways of doing this, but we've landed on the the giver that purchases a package will be required to have authorized users on the account, and those individuals are who Forget Me Not will correspond with, to identify those dates when the giver passes, when some of those other milestone events that aren't going to have a set date, uh, when those happen, and then from there we can fulfill the delivery.
Yeah, so they put somebody kind of in charge of their account. Do they have to do that? What if they don't do that and they don't want to, and they want it to just be a one time, here's a letter, just deliver it after I die? And
Mhm.
then what can they do that? And then second, what triggers you that they've actually died? So what if the person's terminal, they set this up and you deliver letters before they actually are gone?
Yeah, yeah, really good questions. For now, we are requiring that that authorized user be part of that's part of the how the system's going to work, and so and we will use that individual or multiple individuals to be able to confirm when the giver passes. So that will be a requirement for now, uh, until we'll continue to learn, and there's not there's things about this that we haven't done and people haven't done before, and so if
Yeah.
we don't have all the right answers, I think we'll learn better ways of doing things. But for now, that was the best thing we could land on, to give our clients confidence that we will deliver on what we promise to do, and they'll have people in their court that can validate that, and can ensure that we do the job we sign up for.
Now, Katie's asking if the business falls through, will the future letters for already paid customers be guaranteed to be sent? Kind of what assurance do you have built in for that?
Yeah, excellent question, Katie. And that certainly is weighed heavily on us as we talked about, uh, you know, the viability and the sustainability of this type of a business, because it is, we're asking clients to trust us when we say 50 years from now we will deliver something that you have, and really it comes down, I think, to I I guess to be brief and answer right up front, yes, the deliveries will be guaranteed, and we will, no matter what happens, that will be taken care of. And it's on our end to ensure that the way that we manage the money and invest the money so that it can help the company grow and be sustainable long term. That makes it so this doesn't become a charity decades in the future. As we very much intend to fulfill all of our obligations and want to make sure that this is something people can trust and rely on, and we have. I know it's still asking people to trust us, but on our founding team, we have a lot of expertise with successful investments, investment strategy, real estate investments that have led to successful business growth, and so there's that type of expertise that you would want to trust in any type of, I don't know, company or service you choose to invest in. And so we have that credibility to help us make sure that this has a strong financial footing and is able to grow and last.
Nice. Well, if you guys are just joining us, I'm Kari the Mortician. We're talking today to Joe from Forget Me Not Arrangements, a company that is helping folks leave more than just an inheritance to their family members after they pass. So when someone dies pre-death, they can line up with this company to deliver letters, to deliver gifts, to deliver meaningful items to their family members on specific days, on milestone moments like anniversaries, birthdays, things for the next year after death to years down the road. So that's what we're talking about. Um, there were some questions. So what if people move, Christina had asked, and I think that's why you have to have that person in place that kind of what did you call them? They're
Yeah, an authorized user on the account. And
yeah.
yeah, that's another use case for why we need someone that can keep us apprised of address changes and significant events.
Yeah, so they're going to update because what if you have a letter for someone and that person dies, unfortunately,
Hmm.
then you're not going to want you to try and keep delivering to them.
Right.
So, what kind of do they have to sign for these that gives an assurity back to you that it has been delivered to this person? Or what does that look like in terms of tracking?
Yeah, we that is what we anticipate doing initially, and yeah, perhaps for the long term as well. We want to make sure that we have verify that we keep our promises, and then those types of things are received. And if they're not received, we want to try to track down and figure out why, and make sure that we can get those items delivered to the right people.
Um, there was another question here where two, where did that go? Can people pay on like a monthly plan or do they just have to pay for that one service right up front? And
Yeah, yeah. For right now, our plans are all an upfront payment. Some of those are so you there are discounts available for those that purchase, in bulk. For if there's multiple people you want to do this for, you save money the more you bundle upfront with buying those. But if you do need, a lower cost option, we do have those available at one time delivery. And if that's all you can afford right now, there's that option for you to use. And if down the road you have some are able to do that for more people, and make prepare those for more people, then uh, that's always an option.
um, I swear my mind is like fleeting, I think, because I'm trying to read the questions. Um, what I'm such a devil's advocate when I have conversations. So, what if you deliver something and it triggers a very negative response in the person because it brings up something they're not thinking about at the moment? Elicits a hard response from the person. Do you have things in place or kind of what would that look like for you as a company to handle that negative emotional response? Do you have resources available for the person you can kind of pass on to them? Kind of what does that look like for you as a company?
Yeah, this hits on a really important topic as well, and something that I can relate to. And we've had, many people as we've been advertising. There's been, I'd say, of the thousands we've reached and have responded, the vast majority, 70-80% maybe, have been excited and very sharing positive feedback about this. But there's plenty, 20-25% of people that um, don't feel like this would be a good fit for them or people in their family. It could be a very negative experience for them, that are in the thick of a grieving journey. And And for me personally, on a personal note, as I think about how I would have responded had my mom, for example, been able to do something like this,
Yeah.
it would have been negative for me probably for the first 10 years after she passed away. Um, I don't feel that way now. I realize we recognize as a company that everyone has. That's hard. We certainly can't guarantee that it will be a great experience every time someone receives something like this. The options that we've planned for and are able to offer right now, if that is the case, is the individual that is receiving these. They can opt to pause the those letters being delivered. They can opt to receive them all at once, or delay receiving them if maybe down the road they're more
Mm,
open to that. So those are a few of the things we can offer right now. Um, but yeah, it's tricky. Everyone's different, and
yeah.
and it's just a challenging thing to face.
Are you notifying the receivers ahead that you have something you're going to be delivering, or does this just show up in the mail? Or, I mean, I'm picturing like Joe is literally with his little like delivery coming and like bringing it to their door. Like,
Yeah,
how does
UPS
that
guy.
look? Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna allow the giver that's purchasing this, that's preparing all these, we are gonna let them decide how that details like that are gonna be handled, so they can choose if they want this to be a surprise for the individuals initially. They can also, choose to have there be, I don't know, somewhat like a yeah, an advance notice shared with these people, with their loved ones that
Nice.
this could be coming. So a lot of those types of details will be up to the individual giver that's buying the package.
Nice. I what was I just gonna say? Oh, you kinda answered Katie's about how if they decline them and they're already paid, if they don't want them, but like you're saying, they can kinda pause, they can maybe get them all delivered if there's multiple and stick them away for when they are ready down the
Yeah.
road to maybe read that information.
Hmm.
Um I think it might be me, but not on purpose. They just go, "I'll leave her with it." Does it have to be letters, gifts as well? What kind of you said you have kind of a set things of gifts. Can people provide gifts to you to deliver to somebody? What does that liability look like to you if they are bringing you something to deliver?
Yeah, liability is a great word for that.
Yeah,
That's something that we've discussed and have contemplated if we wanted to get into that. As of right now, we're not offering that like with through our Kickstarter. In this initial year of business, we don't provide that as an option. But maybe down the road, if there's enough clients that ask for that, that's something we could look into. But it does, there's an increased liability if people are wanting to use us to pass on heirlooms or different things like that. I That's where we're a little more worried. About handling those types of things. But yeah, feel free. If there's enough people that want it, we certainly will continue to seriously consider it. So
like when my daughter turns 25, if I've died, I want you to go find the cutest puppy and just deliver it to her. Like, can I prepay for you to
Sh-
do that?
yeah, yeah, no, those types of situations, um, I there's less of a liability and yeah, love that use case. That would be really fun to provide that. And so we have had those types of discussions and would like to make those possible and yeah, hopefully down the road we can. For now, we kind of had to stick with some basic offerings and work from there. And
Well, then you can see what then people request or want and let the
yeah,
demand drive your kind of business as well with what response is. Um, so if you're joining, we're here with Joe from Forget Me Not Arrangements, a company where you can pre order gifts to go to your loved ones after your death. Let's say you have a terminal illness, or you just want to plan down the road to deliver things. Hey, I know I'm going to die in a few years. In 20 years, I want this delivered to my child or my spouse, or as a grandparent, you want something for your grandkids on special days. As Joe had said earlier, maybe gift cards to a restaurant that you always took your child or your grandchild. So we're learning about this company, Forget Me Not Arrangements. You can find them on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Their information is down in the description of this video. So check out their platforms. Um, do you have a website?
Yeah, yep.
What is that?
It's just the full name of the company, so www.forgetmenotarrangements.com.
Easy enough. I'll put that in the
Yeah,
chat here. Um, And then can you do voice recordings? Can someone record a video? Or I would imagine you can just put it on like a flash drive or something, and that could be mailed to the person as well.
yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because yes, we there have been lots of people that have voiced interest in that and in the video option, and yes, we do offer that. And how we will deliver is it will still be delivered kind of as a letter type deal. So if you opt to record a video, you'll record it on our platform, and then we will send a nice letter to the individual, and on that letter there will be a QR code where the receiver can watch the video and also be able to download it and those types of things, share it with others. Yeah.
I think that's cool. I hadn't even thought of that, of, doing a video and stuff. People ask once in a while about doing videos for like funerals, and I'm shocked more
Mm.
people don't do that where they record themselves talking to everyone like, "Hey guys, thanks for coming to my
Yeah.
funeral. Let me
Yeah.
share some things," and doing that. And I'm surprised more people don't do that because I think that would be kind of cool, but I think it would be nice to record and have it doled out to your loved ones later at a specific
Hmm.
day, like, "Hey honey, it's your wedding day." Like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could even record that without being a hot mess, but it would be so sweet and so nice to have that for your family one day.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we cannot, Jean, I'm just responding to you. There's nothing to moderate unless we know who's doing the emojis. We can't block them. So let's just ignore them and whatever it is they think that they're accomplishing today, because they must be very bored to sit and do that. Um, Katie was asking again, how do you find someone if they move? Can you explain that process again as you set up? Like, I come to you, I'm terminal, I want to set something up for my child, and they're going to eventually get married and go off. And how is that tracked so that you can find them?
Receivers of the gifts and letters, as well as important dates, yeah, such as weddings and graduations, and so that's what we'll rely on.
Yeah, so it takes a village, as most things in life do. So you can't just do it on your own. This company is a great resource to be able to do it, but your family or someone close to you still has to participate to help them keep up with where your loved ones are to deliver these things to. Um, Katie, let me just reiterate what he said. So, you froze for a minute, Joe. And so
Mm.
he was talking about, so when this gets all set up, you basically nominate that you have someone who is an authorized user for your account. So if they think that maybe not, it's not the right time for something to get delivered, they can go in and pause that delivery. If your family moves, they can go update addresses with the company. So they are the person who's going to be living after the purchaser dies, and they can keep things updated with the company. So if there's any question as maybe it's not the right moment, that person can maybe step in and know that these things are going to happen. Is there like a portal they go into and they can see like Bob purchased 3 letter deliveries to his daughter Cindy and they're supposed to happen? Is it like that detailed or what does that backside look like?
Yeah, yeah, that is what the end result will be. For what we're going live with next week with Kickstarter, it won't be available for that. That's kind of that portal experience you're talking about, Carrie. Um, on Kickstarter, it will very much just be like a shopping cart experience. You'll buy one
Okay.
thing and then you'll receive an email. We'll be in touch with you to go from there. Um, but yes, once we do have our platform live, which we're targeting October of this year for that to be ready, and it will have those types of features where you can log in. The authorized user can log in. You can see what's been purchased. You know what the different requests are, and those types of if there are things that Forget Me Not needs to be aware of. That's where all that will be managed.
What if you are when you're doing gift cards, things like that that you talked about, are you doing just general Visa gift cards or monetary gift cards? What if the gift card time's out?
Hmm.
They some of them expire, even though they shouldn't expire, but they do have expirations, or if is it for specific places? What if the place closes? How does that work?
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, and I hope I didn't make this more confusing than it needed to be. But the monetary gift option that we're offering won't. We're not going to purchase gift cards with that. It will be a, a check. At least initially, that's how like it will just be kind of a cash type of a
Gotcha.
interaction.
Okay. More
Yeah,
of a straightforward,
right.
yeah, you're not out at the store grabbing, Outback Steakhouse gift cards to give to somebody
Yeah.
or whatever it is. I don't know why that was the first restaurant that popped in my head. I don't think I've ever eaten there, but there you go. Can you do voice recordings or like those books or cards that can record to? Yeah, they can do a lot of different things, and it's really about what people want to provide to you too. So they can do like those. My kids got those for my parents, which I think is super sweet that you
Mm,
record yourself reading the book to them. And
that's
so, and
awesome.
then it's like you turn your page and then you give it to the kid, and grandma's reading her the whole book. I can see that where like, I don't even have grandkids yet, but yet I wanna leave something super special for them, and so you do something maybe for a baby shower that gets delivered or something like that down the road. I think there's so many applicable moments that you can do a really nice something, to have and to leave, and putting it in the hands of a company rather than trying to get your bestie to remember it and stick it someplace safe. And I mean, I stick
Mhm.
put stuff in safe places all the time, and then I have no idea where I put them, a couple days later. And
Yeah,
so I kind of like the idea of, okay, Joe, you're in charge of this, and I know that somebody's in charge of it, so I know it's going to get carried out. And then your bestie can help update and do a little bit, but yet someone else is actually professionally in charge in charge of it.
yeah, yeah, I agree, and there's been people that share, that, uh, kind of DIY sentiment, like, "Why would we pay for Forget Me Not to do this when I can have my brother or sister, yeah, bestie
Right.
do this for me?" And that's certainly an option, and, but I agree, I think for many people, this is something that, it could be a really big deal if you wanted it to be, and uh, what comes with that is responsibility and the weight of that and making sure it gets taken care of and paying to have that done just like with anything else. It's I think a reliever just to have someone else take care of it. It's that it's in the right hands um, so we hope that many people feel that way and would like to use us as that service.
Yeah. Now, Katie's asking, how many paid customers do you currently have? Are you delivering letters already? And the Kickstarter for this company to actually go live to begin is next week, correct?
Correct, yeah, so we don't have any paying customers yet. We intentionally, decided to launch this with a Kickstarter campaign, um, for reasons, dating back to the question on, like, uh, are you even what how can you guarantee that you will deliver on these
Yeah.
promises 20, 30, 50 years down the road? And we felt like we needed to launch this with a hopefully a big, just like, a rocket needs a ton of momentum to make it into space. We wanted to get a nice big launch initially that could set us up for success down the road as we had a lot of customers come on board quickly. It allows, investments to grow and help the company be sustainable. So yeah, no paying customers yet. We do have a strong following, of people that we've advertised to and are, excited to support us on Kickstarter. That group is over 5,000 people, um, and so we're excited to launch and hope that can continue to grow.
So if you're just joining, as we're kind of nearing the end of our conversation, but we're talking to Joe from Forget Me Not Arrangements, and it is a company where if you are dying or just kind of planning for the future, where there's a day where you're not going to be here and you want to leave something for your family, more than an inheritance, more than your old clothes that they have to get rid of the Salvation Army or something, you want to leave something meaningful to them. You can write letters, you can pre-order gifts, and connect with this company for them to do these things for you, for your family on significant milestones, on big dates that were maybe just only significant to you and your loved one, but you can hire them to do that. Now, as you hit your launch next week, to begin this, how can people who love this idea support you as a company to help get the word out? What can we do to share this information?
Yeah, yeah. The most helpful thing at this point, would be for interested individuals, viewers out there, to go follow the link that, to our website, where you can then on our website there's an option to, join our newsletter, and from there you'll be taken to, so you'll enter your email and all that, so that we can notify you of when we're launching and everything. There's If you're familiar with Kickstarter, you can find us right on Kickstarter. We'll have links on our website as well that can take you to Kickstarter, and it allows you to sign up for notifications about our campaign on Kickstarter.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Okay.
and so right when we launch, yeah, the most helpful thing is for we want to try to, launch with as many supporters as we can right up front, and that can help, the momentum carry throughout the campaign. So if you really are interested in this, the best thing you could do is be on that Kickstarter campaign on Tuesday morning is when we'll launch next Tuesday, April 30th, and then buy one of those packages. And then, yeah, if this is something that you want to share with your family and friends, something you feel would be meaningful for others, we could use all the support we can get there to get the word out. So
We'll send all of our happy, good thoughts and love to Utah to support you guys. So thank you for joining us for a conversation about the company. I love the idea and seeing that the other day on Instagram that from that one like daily happiness, whatever, was sharing a story that someone had done that for their, I believe it was grandchild, and telling the whole story of it. And I was like, ooh, this is what Joe's doing. Like this is what they're doing in a much bigger, more profound way that other people, if they don't know how to maybe play it out themselves, just on their own, there is a place now that will help you do this. Forget me not arrangements. So, thank you for joining us. And I've got all the links in the description of this video. I'll add the Kickstarter link there as well. So, make sure to support
awesome.
this company, everybody. Yeah. Any last words you want to share about Forget Me Not arrangements?
I just thank you, Carrie, for having me on. This has been fun,
Yeah.
and yeah, we're excited. We hope that this can be something that, creates not just meaningful, but inspirational moments for families in the future, and even life changing moments across generations as people, can connect and remember those relationships that are extremely important.
Nope, I think that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I can't wait to see you guys just grow and do so good. It's so many lives can be touched by this in such a positive way. So I can't wait to see what you guys do.
Thank you. Really
Thank you
appreciate it.
guys. Yeah, thanks
See ya.
everyone for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.